Hello, this is Richard. I just wanted to do a quick introduction to this tea chat. This is with a good a longtime friend, Mike. We've collaborated on so many projects together, and he was very instrumental in the our first Long Beach Underground Film Festival. So we talk about that a lot. And towards the end, he gives a pretty cool announcement if you want to stick around through the whole conversation. Um, just a couple other points of order. My other good friend and the person that was on the T chat back in December, Serena, she has a couple of film screenings coming up for her short vertical film called She Fell from Space. She has one March 3rd in Hollywood and another March 7th in Boyle Heights. You can search up She Fell from Space on Instagram, I guess, or I'll try to post a link to those screenings directly if it's available in the information on this video. What else? We got we have zines, or I have zines, I guess. I wrote a little thing, trying to get on the camera here. Um, Yeah, I made a little zine, my first one called Guillotine Pizza Party. I'm hoping to turn it into a monthly thing. This one's kind of small, but you can find it around. I dropped a few copies off at a local bookstore in Long Beach called Page Against the Machine, and I am trying to leave a few around town, but if you send me a message, I could definitely get you one. Um, hopefully it becomes a monthly thing, and I'll probably try and make them a little bit longer so they can be for sale. And yeah, but hit me up, and also there's a PDF version that is available on our Patreon. Just look up Learn to Swim Film Collective on Patreon. There's nothing paid up there right now, so you can just join for free. If you wanted to support us, you can pay the $5 a month, and I will probably be posting some content there to justify the price, but I also want to make sure that people can access most of what we're doing for free, so I don't want to overdo it. But that is available if you want to support us that way. There'll be a link to the Patreon as well. I think that's about it for now. Please, please enjoy this conversation. A nice long conversation I had with Mike.
Recording in progress.
Yes, I am joined by Mr. Kneecaps here.
Ricky, if you will.
Ricky. I when I was typing up my notes, I'm like, is this not that anybody cares, but is this where we break the illusion, the identity illusion?
Oh, if not here, then where, I guess.
Yeah.
Because if anyone was at the was at the first year for the festival, then you almost certainly saw me around.
You also did talk about it on, even though that video has since been taken down, you did talk about it on that video recorded with Collie um
Oh right, yeah, that's
as
right.
well.
So,
So it already's been established that Mr. Mike here is Ricky Kneecaps, the photo, in case it fooled anybody. But
darn
yeah,
it.
we'll get to that. I mean, there's a couple of reasons I wanted to have you on, and that was obviously one of them. Um, I I've already you already know the sentiment, but I will tell the story publicly. When we were at the screening a couple weeks ago, and he made a throwaway comment about how
Oh,
you and I were in
now film directing
a
class, I
film
think.
directing class together 20 years ago, and my mind instantly thought you were being hyperbolic. Um, and then I took about 5 seconds to realize that no, it is indeed 2026, and we took a directing class together in the year of our Lord 2006.
Yeah, I forget when I started doing film classes. I forget if it was 2005 or not, but I didn't go right into the directing class. I didn't even want to go into that directing class. I wanted to go into the cinematography class, but it was like that class was full up, so I just took another class. I even remember saying that when I was in the directing class and the teacher got angry at me. Teachers don't like it when they say I'm just here because the thing I wanted to do was full up.
Well, and what's funny is that I guess we don't have to name him. It doesn't matter. But that particular professor came up in a conversation I had
Oh, really?
last week because I showed Alex this film is not yet rated,
Oh, yeah.
and it makes a allusion. They talk about the film The Dreamers. Did you ever see The Dreamers?
No, I didn't.
And I think it was in that directing class. I mentioned having seen it, and that particular professor was like, "Trash, trash. The film's trash."
I once saw this particular professor. Like, I was warned ahead of time that if you did badly on a test, he would like crumple up the test and like throw it on the ground. And I was so like afraid to take. This was just like a general viewing class. It wasn't
Yeah.
the directing class. It was just some general viewing class.
Was it New
And
Asian Cinema? Because I think I
but
took
like
that
the
with him
first
as
test,
well.
it was either New Asian Cinema or I don't think it was. I think it was the other big one. Like I can't remember
Right,
right
right.
now. But like I took that first test, really nervous, and then I think I got like the highest score in the class, or I did like great.
Uh,
So I was just like beaming in the corner while he was like crumpling up people's test papers and throwing them on the ground. So it's like it happens. It wasn't hyperbole, but I was just in a really good place when it happened because it wasn't happening to me.
right, 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 right. This episode brought to you by hyperbole. Um,
Yep.
yeah. So so as far as I can remember, that was the first time we really came across each other. Um,
Yeah, I think so.
you know, more or less. I mean, we exist in the same program, but we were in that class, and oh man, trying hard not to do any sort of revisionist history there. Uh, but I want to say maybe by the end of that semester, we were kind of hanging out. I
Oh,
guess was Arash
maybe.
Arash was in that class too, I believe, right? Um,
Yes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was.
so
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there,
he was.
yeah, maybe I don't. So when here's the thing is when I started going to film school in 2004 at the university, and so I had already taken a couple of film classes by then, uh, and I had kind of started to fall in with a different group, and I was doing some projects with them.
Mm-hmm.
And like I mean there is kind of like a I don't know if this is universal, but there was there was somewhat of a click aspect to it.
I could see that.
In the most in a semi-neutral way, but like, you know, you're working on projects together. It's you work long hours on your projects and you kind of find people like-minded people to work with.
Yeah.
So I had fallen in with a different group of people around 2005, and uh we had spent the year I had taken like film one or something with these people. And they were fun. They were good and like everything, but it wasn't like I don't know, I hadn't again, try not to revise history, but I think this is pretty much I hadn't quite felt a connection with these people yet. Um
Hmm.
and then I fell upon maybe it wasn't that semester, maybe it was the next one, but I know by 2007 that we were like heavily working on projects together. Um,
Yeah, because
and
we were spending a lot of time in the school's editing bay,
yeah,
wherever it was at any given time.
yeah. So
On
I
the
want to
first
say,
floor of the library, in the basement of the library, wherever it was, we logged some
yeah,
hours in there and in class.
yeah. I think when I first started, again because I had another year before that, it was across the street, um,
Oh, that's right.
in that
Yeah,
other building. Yeah.
yeah,
So whenever it was, if it was 2006, 2007, I still think there was like a transition time because I had gone into production the summer of 2007 on Mike Garcia's feature.
Hmm.
And you weren't quite there yet, so I think at that point I probably would have, if we were super close, I would have asked you. But I do remember you from the directing class, and I do remember you being in there for sure.
I I I don't remember anyone doing well in that class. Maybe I
Yeah.
seem to remember the teacher enjoyed the foreign exchange students because they were much more interesting than the dumb California students he
Right,
mostly
right,
taught.
right.
But I remember being pretty over my head and or yeah being pretty over my head in that class. Do you have a feeling for how you fared at that directing class?
I think I did okay,
Okay.
but I think as uh as abrasive as that professor could be, I did learn a couple of lessons that kind of stuck with me about like the nature of directing that I wouldn't say it like revolutionized the way I approach the craft, but it did give me some tips that I would be semi useful. I think working on working on sets with other directors was the best education I got. Um and to be honest, a directing class is kind of silly, but
It's a little silly. There was another teacher that also taught directing during that time, and my understanding was that they taught it more from a with a camera in mind, whereas the person we had was just you're just the person telling the actors how to act on camera. You weren't necessarily directing for a shot. So
sure.
I thought it was interesting that we ended up in that class versus that other class. I don't know if it made a big difference, but I always thought that was
I
interesting.
don't know. Maybe that's why a lot of my a lot of my early directing work was more focused on actors, and why I didn't really develop any sort of visual style till later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciated my time in that class, if only because one, there's enough time between now and then where the trauma has died down a little bit, and two, it's helpful to see everyone fail really badly a lot, because you
Yeah.
can only go up from there. And it, there were people that, myself included, that just had no idea,
There was okay.
what to do.
So his favorite thing to do was just to like, in that class that this professor was to chastise people about their acting when they were acting out these scenes.
I think I know
And
what you're about to say.
and there was one scene where it was supposed to be played serious.
Yep, I know what you're about to
And
say.
this guy, oh, I remember his name. It was Andy Bustle, and he was like, he could not smile, stop smiling. He's just like, at some point, the professor is like, he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And he's like, "I don't know. I'm just a happy guy."
Yeah, yeah. That's just bad casting. So you you can only do so much in that situation. He should
Uh,
not have been cast in that role. But I think for those early exercises, we could only use other people in the class.
mhm.
So it's a bunch of people that don't know how to direct or act,
Right,
having to do both.
right.
I think I remember having to do some acting.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, he
I
told
remember
me he told
bringing.
never hire this guy to walk in your film.
Yeah, that's right. Uh, so yeah, we got beat up good, but we came out the other side, maybe
Yeah,
limping a little bit,
yeah,
but
and I
we
think
survived.
yeah, and the I think the importance of all that was because it was around that time that year 2006 2007 where I was starting to I mean in a lot of aspects is starting to gather what would become our little group down the road. We're definitely laying the seeds um because it's kind of I think the thing is after all these years it's like okay, well, certain people that were around us kind of like, fell in and out or whatever. But it's kind of funny that going into what we're doing now and the film festival and everything around it is that you're still around, and also Serena, because it was only 2008, like only a couple years later that we met Serena.
Yep.
And and Hilbert's somehow became part of this mess as well because he helped me pick the awards for the festival year one.
Right. Oh yeah, that's right.
Um,
And how many of the things did he watch? Did he watch everything last year?
he watched um he watched everything that was selected.
Okay, okay, I
Yeah,
see.
so he watched all 54, 55 films that were selected. And
Good,
well,
yeah.
except for I told him he didn't have to watch our movie. I told him he didn't have to watch In Between the Mountains and the Ocean because it wasn't going to be eligible for awards, but I think he watched it anyways.
Oh, okay. Oh no, he's seen me act. Oh dear. Well,
He
that's why he doesn't talk to me anymore.
oh, is that true? Well, I don't know. I
No, no, no.
usually
Well,
I
I
go ahead.
oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I usually just
Oh,
half the
I was
time
gonna say,
I think there's a delay, but you go first.
I think there is. Okay,
Yeah,
I will go first. I mostly communicate with them via social media, and I barely post on social media now, so I don't talk to him as much. When I do though, it's always lovely. So hi John, if you're watching this.
maybe I'll clip this particular part. Just um, no, I think I generally I will always almost always text the Hilbert if I'm like uncomfortably drunk or high. And
Never comfortably.
no, because well, I mean, I'm married. If I'm comfortable, I'll just enjoy my wife's company. But
Fair enough.
or just to kind of like share political memes or ask him to give me pirated software.
Fair enough.
So
All the things he loves to do.
all right, pretty much. Um, he's no, I won't even get into it because I don't understand. Like, he sent me some like a screenshot of a some sort of data chart about wine that he was producing and whatever, that yeah.
Producing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
Um,
He's
but
finally doing prison wine.
I would um
I assume.
so I think the thing I wanted to get at was like, hey, I mean, it says here like briefly, I don't know how brief we are talking about school, but basically all that led to what would become Learn to Swim, which would lead to what would become the festival. Um, so I think, I mean, we're kind of just going to jump over several years here,
Jump away.
jump away, because I mean, I know, for me, I guess there was a little bit of this for you too, but I spent a good, you're slightly younger than me, but we're close enough in age. Um, I spent a big chunk of my 20s and even early 30s kind of in a indie film loop, freelance loop, kind of like in and out of like probably similar to you. I held down regular jobs and but still would do some freelance work here and there, Um,
Yeah, I did a fair amount of part time work and then a smattering of indie work here and there as I could,
I
get
spent
it and schedule it.
yeah, I spent about I think only a year and a half or 2 years I lasted like pure freelance work. Um, like I did like a solid, yeah, it was about a year and a half or 2 years where that was the only source of income I had was freelance work. And
Was that when you were editing?
it was a little bit of both. I did some editing and some camera assistant work. I did a
Okay.
lot of work with Sam Rosenthal,
Hmm.
um, who's doing probably much more interesting things now. I don't talk to him too much, um, but I did a lot of work with him. I was kind of like his B team camera assistant. If the production couldn't afford like a proper camera assistant, then he would bring me on.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much what I was as a boom opper sound person. Like you can't afford a good guy, you get Mike
Yeah,
because
so
he'll do it for cheap.
I
Well,
was
okay, I won't say good guy, but I was definitely the budget person a lot of the times.
right. I mean, you're a good guy.
Oh yeah, but I wasn't I never made a living just doing sound, so I definitely wasn't getting paid a proper day rate at any point.
Right. So I think that leads to like where I am now, and I mean we might view things differently, and why shouldn't we? We're two different people. Um, I still find it kind of odd that you know, after these 20 or so non-hyperbolic years, um, that I'm like not only still doing stuff, um, but having uh depending on you define terms, success. Um, I mean, was last year was a year. We had we're coming up on a year now of our awards extravaganza. Um, and we had a film festival. We did a film festival.
We pulled it out. We did it. We
We
got people to
did.
show up.
Yeah,
That's the biggest thing to me.
it is, and I will definitely address that. But I think actually I'll address that right now. I'll just say straight up, I think you've been to enough film festivals now in the past year at least to know how heavily these film festivals rely on the filmmakers to bring their people. And I
Oh,
think yeah,
yes, absolutely.
and and I don't know why or how we were more successful at this than some other film festivals because not every screening was packed or anything by any stretch of the imagination, but out of the 10 blocks we had, like um well every almost everything on Sunday was pretty full. And that's 3 blocks right there. The the nighttime block on the first day um was pretty full, and that's because one of the filmmakers brought a whole gang of people, and the oh my God, don't let this name. The Astral Plane Drifter people, they packed the house for sure just because it's
They brought their own step and repeat. I was a big fan of that.
yeah, he asked permission. Well, kind of.
Right.
Like not I don't want to paint him as a douche because he's an incredible guy. Like, but he pretty much just said this is what I'm going to do. Um yeah, I mean, yeah, but yeah, Michael is like Mike as well. Um that guy is super fucking chill. Like that is a good dude. I want to have him on one of these for sure because
Nice.
he yeah, he was definitely screening that was probably the lowest tier festival that he screened at out of many. Um maybe not, but
But he still brought people. I think I can attribute that to a couple of things. One, I think our venue houses a lot of things that don't, necessarily get played a lot of other places. I mean, there are definitely like, shorts festivals
yeah.
and more experimental festivals, but I'm guessing they're fewer and far between. I think the people that, especially for shorts, because it's harder to do business with a short.
Yeah.
If you're out there showing at festivals, you're going to be, I would imagine, more passionate and probably more likely to bring in a bunch of folks to go
Yeah.
and experience that.
Well, we
So I,
also we also did ourselves it wasn't my intention because I just wanted to promote local work, but the thing is by getting people from LA and specifically Long Beach, like they're gonna show up.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so it's um yeah, there's that. But I want to backtrack to a specific moment. So I had started planning the festival a little less than a year before. Um, and I want to say I met up with Jaylene around August of 2024.
hmm
And at some point, I asked you if you wanted to help me program the thing, basically. Um, and to me, like I think very similar to Jaylene. When I asked Jaylene if she wanted to help, I thought I was asking her for a um, to perform a small role to like
hmm
do some task. And she pretty much jumped in and just, became my right hand woman when it came to that thing, and it was very useful. And I think a similar thing to you when I asked you if you wanted to help watch the films. I wish I could have. Do you remember what you said? You had a pretty good response.
Oh no, I
I posted
don't.
a group chat, and I think you said something akin that you had a lot of tolerance for watching a certain type of obscure, strange movies, which is what we're going for.
Okay, yeah, yeah, that sounds like something I would have said then,
Um,
which still holds true.
so you did. You watched a huge chunk of the movies, and I I felt pretty calm um pretty quickly when I started watching them. And I want to know what your perspective was because uh as soon as I started watching the films coming in, I was like, holy shit, this is a real thing that's going to happen because there are films here um which are good. Like I wasn't trying I don't want this to come off as like disparaging myself, but it's a first year festival. It's an underground festival with a kind of a unique concept. I didn't know if people are going to respond positively to that. And I didn't know if we were going to get quality submissions. So once the submissions started coming in and I started watching what was going on, I was like, wow, maybe it meant something more to me since my name was like first and foremost on the whatever. But I was like, okay, it was kind of starting to validate the idea. I mean, did you have any expectations of what the films were going to be like before they came in? And did that change when you started watching them?
Oh gosh, no, no, I had no expectations. I didn't, I wasn't expecting all bangers. I wasn't expecting all, all bad work or anything like that. And when I sat down to watch them, it because I've never screened films for a festival before, um, but it's fascinating because you know that you have to work your way through them, in a good amount of time, and just that rapid, you kind of get into this rhythm of watching a thing that you would have never have thought of, but you get to go on that journey of what this person thought of and how they made it and how they put it together. I have to come up with my thoughts. Most of the time, it was a lot of the time it was this is good. It could be better in some ways, but I'm really digging it. And that was it for most of the films, I would say, with some, being just like amazing, obviously amazing, and others, not as amazing, but you're going to get that across the board. So it was all a learning experience of what was out there, what kind of people would submit to a first time festival in Southern California,
Yeah.
and this year it's shaping up to be. I mean, I've been super impressed with what I've seen this year. So it's still a learning experience about what to expect. Like I wouldn't have expected last year's crop. I haven't. I wouldn't have guessed what we've gotten in this year's crop. It's just always this pleasant surprise.
Yeah. And I think like the cool thing for me too was the how I think one thing I will congratulate myself on was that I did not come into the like the programming aspect of it like hard like locked onto exactly what I was looking for. I had an idea what I was looking for, and when those film came across, I'd be like, yes, that's what I was looking for. But then I started to notice that this film festival wasn't going to be just just these crazy experimental films. Like there was going to be
It's not all period cakes.
It, it is no, it's not a pair of cakes. I think the one I think and I don't know why I point to this particular one, even though it was obviously very good. I think it was one of our finalists for Best Picture, but do you remember the interview? Um like it was called The Interview or something else, whatever, blah blah blah. It was the one that
Not by name, no.
yeah, it ended with like some like monologue on the beach and stuff and a lot of voiceover and very stylistic and very cool. And
Okay. Yes,
that
yes,
was
yes, I do
kind of
remember that
like
one.
that's what I thought the vibe was going to be for the whole thing. And I was happy to include that, but then I was also happy to get a lot of other type of stuff too. Like um
Like music videos. You weren't expecting that.
I was not expecting that at all. I mean, I knew that Jane, we hadn't been in contact with Jane. I knew Jane would submit something, but I didn't really push her to submit. In fact, I think she submitted way past the deadline. Um, I didn't really push her to submit until I saw how many music videos we are getting. So that's why I added that category because I was like, and we got some really fun ones. Oh my God, that animated one in the car, like that was super fucking cool. Like that was some high quality animation.
Oh yeah, and that was he was still in school, wasn't he? The director of that?
Yeah, yeah.
And he like apologized that it wasn't better. It's like, no, everyone loved it.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
great.
It was great. And I felt like and even the films that weren't selected, like we had a pretty high selection rate, but I don't feel like there was anything I would not want to put in there though. Like and then I think the and then of the films that we rejected, I say the vast majority of them were good pieces that were just the wrong tone.
Yeah,
And I would think if those filmmakers made any mistake, it was kind of just like maybe we weren't at the festival for them.
yeah,
Um,
I agree with that.
yeah, because there was some pieces where I'm just like this could definitely play somewhere. It's just not necessarily here.
Like there was one I remember, and I won't go into specifics, but it was about a kind of a heavy subject matter and very earnest. And it was like, this is good. I don't know if it would fit in
Yeah.
at this one, but I
Mhm.
didn't dislike that at all. It's just,
That was that. Oh man, I wanted to make that work. I wanted to make that work because the subject matter was so important. But it's like
yeah,
this is just if he took a slightly different tone, like I would have loved to include something that addressed those issues.
yeah.
Um, so um,
So viewer, it hurts us when we when we have to say no to a lot of things.
totally, yeah,
Ultimately, it's not like I'm the one saying no. It's more of a consensus thing. So there's not anyone that's like you know
well, yeah, like
saying absolutely no to certain things.
even me who kind of like gets to technically pull the trigger on this stuff. I I think would almost never do it without a conversation. Like if you and I disagreed on something, like I almost felt like I needed to convince you of why I was going to go in a different direction, whether it was yes or no on something, you know?
Yeah,
Because I mean, A, I just need to be heard, but B, to be like, I really wanted to make sure that I was making the right decision with some of these things. And uh, and sometimes I come
and,
up.
and
Go ahead.
and I think you and I are looking for different things. Um,
Sometimes,
so it really is a consensus overall. We're not just looking for one specific type of things. The number of people involved in this really did kind of broaden the scope of what was accepted.
yeah, and I think I'm even involving more input this time around too. Um, and I think like even though you and I made did most of the watching, like yeah, there were times where I would call Jay and be like, okay, I need you to give your advice on this piece because I just you know not sure about this or not sure about that. And
Yeah.
I think so there is that, and then yeah, so I think so at a certain point, so we watched the movies. I don't think you didn't watch every single one. I had other people to split that work off with, but I did. I watched every single submission.
Yeah, I focused on the shorts. I got
Yeah,
through most of the shorts.
yeah, yeah. Did you not watch you watch oh that's right. Some of the horror shorts I sent off to my wife.
She's the expert.
Yeah, she's much more the horror genre. Um, so so when we get to the end, I mean, do you have like a based on what you had seen, once we were done and we had made all our selections, did you feel any sort of way about the crop of films that we had?
I thought it was an embarrassment of riches. I thought it was a really
Thank you. Yeah.
fantastic,
Yeah.
blocks, groups that we saw one at a time, and then just overall, I thought it was really neat. There was a lot of diversity, um, but everything I could see why it got picked, and that was
Yeah.
really fun to explore. That not just like it's one thing watching it at home. It's another setting up a screen and projector and people show up and you experience it together. It's a I'd say it's a theater experience, but it was a
Yeah.
more out in the real world sort of experience. But
A
just
room experience.
yeah, but all those things coming together just made me kind of appreciate um appreciate everything even more. So I was really happy with how just all the programming turned out. It was
Yeah,
great.
me too. And I think, I mean, I know I should be focusing on the programming aspect of this since I'm talking to you, um, but I'm glad you said that. It wasn't embarrassing of riches because I'm like, this is a really good program. Like on its own, if I just like took these movies, um, it'd be like, this is our festival. I would be like, that's a good crop. But on top of that, such cool people too. Like as we were leading up to it, as soon as I started giving the notifications, um, I was blown away by people that wanted to travel to our
Oh
festival.
yeah, right.
We had someone come from France. Well, I talked to Lewis on the last episode of this thing last month, and we had someone come from Argentina. We had someone
That's
who
right.
we had someone
Yeah.
who wanted to come from New York, but she was trying to make it work. She was working on a project in New York and she wanted to come for the weekend during her break on a film she was working on.
Whew.
Uh, and People come from New Mexico. Uh,
Were the Irish filmmakers ever in contention? Did they ever say they were gonna try and make it? I forget.
no, not at all.
No. Okay, I forgot.
Um, but and I want to say Atlanta.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So yeah, there was people and like and not only did they come, but like I mean, if their words and actions are to be believed, like they enjoyed themselves. So I think we had like a really good program, but I wanted to like I felt the same way you did. It's like seeing them at home was one thing, but then seeing these on the screen and getting the reactions was um another. I'm going to no, let's go in chronologically here. So you were um you were present for a big chunk of the festival as well, the weekend. So you've already like agreed to help me screen the films, but you also came on to do a lot of technical work during the festival. So I can tell you how I was feeling.
Okay.
But how are you feeling? We show up night one and we are battling the sun on an outdoor screen, and this is how the film festival is starting.
Oh yeah. Um. Yeah. That night was a bit of a frenzy. Just to get the screen set up in time in this place where there was a frame technically to set up the screen, but there also kind of wasn't. We could
Yeah.
kind of hang it, but we couldn't like stretch it properly. And I didn't have the help that I had on days 2 and 3 for that one. So I was just happy once I got the screen up, and that was a livable situation. And then I was just relieved when all the equipment got set up, and you could see stuff and hear stuff. And then we just had to wait for the sun to completely go away, which was probably not what any of us were hoping for. That was a bit of a bit of a hiccup, a bit of a bummer. Trying to block it out as best we could, but just
Yeah.
that ambient light. So it was a long night, but considering the turnout we ended up having for that and the reactions, it felt good at the end of the night. I was tired at the end of the night, but it felt good. Like when people go to these things, they want to have a good time, and I felt like people were, once we got past the daylight issue,
Yeah.
people were having a good time.
Yeah, I think yeah, I think a slightly a not too distant past version of myself would have totally fell apart when the when we're having the sunlight issue because I had worked on this for a year and we have all these people out here and we could not start on time because we cannot see the films because we are outside and the sun is not set yet. Um, but I think the
Even
thing,
even once it did set, it still took a
yeah,
while.
the thing that was kind of nice though is like a nobody like seemed upset about it, at least not outwardly, even if they were kind of bummed inside. Um, and there was a couple of people who were like actually like filmmakers or whatever that were like trying to help us come up with a solution. And I think to save my anxiety, like Jay kind of came in clutch when she suggested that the films that were having trouble being seen, she suggested that we screen them the following day during an empty block of time we had. Um, which worked out nice. It was nice that people were able to get their films seen at least, and people showed up to that screening, that impromptu screening. People showed
Yep,
up to it, which is kind of cool.
yep.
Um, but once it started, and then our second block that night was heavily packed because there was a local filmmaker that brought a ton of his friends, and that was cool. That was nice, and yeah, I was kind of that was kind of the moment when the sun went down, and I remember sending some pictures to my sister, who had yet to arrive. I think she was coming the next day or something.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I sent a picture of a for a venue without seats, really, well, a handful of seats. It was a packed house. Like we had totally filled that area up. In fact, people were standing in the back.
Yeah,
Um,
no, that was really neat.
and as much issues as we had with the lighting, um, it was a cool venue to start because it really gave that kind of that, for lack of a better term, that underground feel. Like we were literally in a back thing. So I mean, um how did the rest of the weekend, like in your view, how did that pan out? Like just being a part of this.
How did it turn out? I mean, once we proved that we that we could do it and get past some issues on the first day, there were some much smaller issues at the other venues we were at. But I feel like as the weekend progressed, everything got a bit better. We got a little bit more confident, and things ran a bit more smoothly, which just brought my stress level down, and
Yeah.
I was able to appreciate it more. And yeah, just by the end of the weekend, it's like, oh, holy cow, we did it. 3 different venues, 3 different days. I was feeling pretty good about it that we did it, and that there was a number of people that were reacting very positively to it. Block after block after block, and some people showing up block after block after block. That's
Yeah,
that's
I
great.
feel um yeah, that's why I don't know if you caught this group of posts I made. I made a bunch of posts on Instagram.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
The top 10 moments, and I think the one I dedicated to Samuel and Lewis
Yeah,
as just being those two guys, like the two guys that are like just always there. Uh and
it was great seeing them.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Except Samuel. Samuel shaved his beard. I just disapprove of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
beardless
fuck you,
person. Can you
Samuel.
imagine that?
Well, because he had such a fantastic beard.
That is true.
Um, no, Samuel's great,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah, yeah.
But and had a great film. Uh Best weirdest scene, which to me, don't tell anybody. But I think like weirdest scene should be like uh the crowning jewel of awards at a film festival like this.
Oh, I like that. I'm
Did
down
you?
for
Oh,
that.
there's another question. How did you
Yeah.
feel about the choices Hilbert and I made for the awards?
I think I was mostly on track. I don't know who the short list was for anyone, but I definitely, I felt good about everyone that I saw win.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't. So yeah, I'm like, if I go into someone, I don't. If I go into them, I don't want it to seem like we didn't think the winner deserved to win, but they definitely did. But there are some tough choices, like, and I think um, like actors was tough because they're such from different genres. It was a genre thing,
Mm,
um, like Hunter won from Beethoven's great great grandchild.
that's
Um,
that was one that was. I mean, not to pick favorites, but that was one that I remember championing early. Not necessarily for best actor, but just in general. It's like,
yeah.
oh, this is like transcends being a skit, and it's just this beautiful thing. I loved it. I love this festival for so many things that you can tell that they put in a ton of work and thought, and that they wanted people to see it and not have it just like get lost online.
Well, yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's a good call because yeah, a lot of this stuff was like made for, was definitely made to be seen. And I think uh I mean this is more like I know we already talked about the selection process, but I will say another thing is about all the films we picked is like, you know, we ran the gamut, I think, of like well, not the whole gamut because we try to keep things low budget, but there were some films that were definitely more polished. And other people like with, just lower budgets and more technological, limitations. But but I was impressed by how many films that I could just say like, hey, maybe the sound was off here, but good God, some of these films have like so much heart to them, and you could just see it, in the experience. And I was right that people were gonna feel that when I watched it too. Like, wow, there's a lot of heart in some of these films, and it really comes across.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If there's one thing I'd say was like consistent across a lot of my judging, it was like, did you really put yourself into this,
Mhm.
and were you trying to reach other people doing this? I think in a roundabout way, like those are more. They don't necessarily override like obvious technical issues
Sure,
or
sure. Yeah, I'm not
production
saying like
things like
it was
that,
bad, but just some of them.
but if you really excel in that area, that
Yeah,
makes up for so many other things.
totally. Um, yeah. So I'm gonna put you on the spot about this one, and I don't know. Maybe I'm
Oh
holding a
boy.
grudge. Maybe I'm holding a grudge against Reddit,
Okay.
but and I know you can't top Lewis's answer, but because nobody can.
All right.
But did you dig the vibe of the format? How we had the Q&As after every single short film.
Yeah. No, I thought that was great. especially coming from other festivals where they don't even tell you the block is going to start. Like we tell you what's going to play, the
Yeah.
order it's going to play in, and we give every filmmaker the chance to say something. Was it only after, or was it before as well?
Introduction and Q&A.
Introduction and
I
Q&A.
will
That's right.
correct you. I will correct you on one thing.
Yes.
Um, we did not advertise the exact order within the block. Um, some of that I picked on the fly,
Oh,
actually.
okay. You're right. You're right. I think it was usually a shortest to longest.
Shortest to longest in general, but sometimes I would swap just because I wanted to start with a certain vibe. Like I think on
That's
the
right.
sun I think on Sunday morning, even though it wasn't the shortest, I just insisted that we had to start with the
Oh, right.
uh
Yes.
fuck, what was it called? Uh See, this is gonna get lost quickly as we go into year two as well.
Yeah, I know.
Um
I know exactly which one you're
you know
talking
what I'm
about.
talking about though. And like I'm like, we have to start our last day with this film. This is the perfect like hangover film.
Yeah.
Um yeah, so
It exemplifies people in a space watching videos very well.
I almost want to do that thing where I start looking at my computer to figure it out. But and I'm going to. But I'm such a professional I could talk at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think like it was ah, man, yeah, Lewis summed it up. It was like it committed to like that um he said campfire, which is good, but I just felt like a community feel where you're just like everybody's kind of just like hanging out. But I think the real reason I wanted to do it that way was I wanted to celebrate anybody who completed a film and got it screened at a film festival. And I think
Hmm.
I I obviously know how much, I mean, I mean I co-directed, but I know how much work goes into making a feature, and it's a lot. But completing a short film is that's still an accomplishment. And I wanted to make sure that people got their moment. The film was called Web Cruise, by the way,
Right, right, right.
and and which I think you can see some of these films online, by the way, or some of them have posted on YouTube in the in the intervening months since we screened them.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I wanted to make sure everyone got a chance to talk about their film, even if it was only for a minute or two. Um, and that's when Samuel came in clutch because he always had a question for the filmmakers, which was so nice because I will do better about that this time. But I definitely dropped the ball on that because I should have had some questions planned
Hmm.
um, as like a festival director. Well, again, give myself some credit because not all festival directors are as present as I was at this film festival. Like, we've been to plenty of festivals where you don't see the festival director at every single screening. I went to every single screening, obviously. Um, but yeah, as a person, it's kind of like it's a little, you know, wearing multiple hats as well.
No,
But
definitely.
yeah, but I was definitely, for the people that weren't there, I'd introduce the film, so everyone got an introduction, everyone got a Q&A, and I know the criticism I got when I said something about that on Reddit, like I got a bunch of responses, and people are like, I don't think I explained myself well, but I think people were just like, it's gonna ruin the flow, but I'm like, what flow? Like, what are we actually doing here?
Oh, yeah. I at least for shorts festivals, I it's not bad when they all play back to back to back and there's no break in between, but I I definitely don't think it has to be that way. I personally welcome intro and Q&A.
Yeah,
Um I don't think just having like three or four things show one after the other. It's like at the Oscars when they tell you to hold your applause until they list all the people that died. It's like I get why people, wanted to applaud for this person or that person. It's weird holding it till the end. Um,
yeah,
I think it's best to talk about things right after they've happened, and I think this is a great opportunity for
yeah.
that.
Well, to me, it's just like I had the filmmaker in mind the whole time, and that's. That's what I would have liked as a short. I'd be like, oh, give me my moment. I made a film. I paid to have it submitted. I came out here.
I
Let
brought
me.
people.
Yeah, I'd brought people to this film festival, like, who probably paid. So yeah, I think it's but I don't know. I'm really glad to hear you talk about it too, like as like something we all did together because it was such a big collaborative effort and something we accomplished. And I think like I couldn't have done it without, I mean, any of it really. Like it's all of you and Lisa and Jay on the back end helping plan this whole thing and all the
There were many family
filmmakers.
members.
Yeah, I did. I had and everybody's already like, making their plans for
Oh,
I
that's
don't
great.
yeah, I don't know if my mom can make it. Well, this is a little bit behind the curtain, but like, my mom's particular job, she lives in San Diego and she made it last year, but we are going to constantly run up against Pride weekend in San Diego. Um,
Oh
and
yeah.
her
Okay.
particular job, she probably needs to be there, but we'll see. We'll see if she makes something happen. Uh, but it's the weekend that works for us and for Long Beach, and it's probably going to continue to. But yeah, it's I don't know. It's cool. Like as we gear up. I mean, it's only February, but looking ahead, yeah, like I said, it's like I'm already like getting ready to to do it again, and seeing the films come in, and it's like, yep, uh we did it. Not only did we do a thing, but we um we established that this is a thing that we are now doing, like actively doing as long as we choose to, and as long as y'all choose to be involved.
Yeah.
Um, and that's pretty great. I'm like so happy to kind of to wrap up this conversation. I'm so happy to be working with you, in particular on this thing because you and I started working on films in film school all those decades ago.
Oh yeah. I guess that's true. Um, can I make a? I won't say it's an announcement, but
Yeah,
may I say a thing? I'm going to I'm going to try and submit something for the nepotism block this year. A new festival only nepotism block edition. I've been mulling over an idea, and I think I can probably get it ready in time. Nothing
good.
too big or crazy, but I'm gonna try and have a thing that is seen in a room by people.
Good, because I've been lagging on my idea and I only have a few months to get it done. I mean, well, I can complete my film like the day before the festival and it'll be fine.
Nepotism block,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't know if we were gonna run a full-on nepotism block again. Um, but I think I know how I'm going to weave it into the festival this year because I don't uh
We're just
also
gonna show this interview at nepotism
I
block.
would I even if I mean they could be mad about it, but I will talk to anybody. But I technically could include the people who screened last year that have submitted new pieces this year, even though it's
Oh,
not technically nepotism, but just the fact that I know them already because of last year.
right,
Um, but I will just say, I mean, maybe I'll call it something else this year because we don't have a feature to lean on. Um,
right.
so it's like if I can get my piece finished, if you can get your piece finished, and then I could convince Serena to to submit her piece.
I think we could. I think we could scrap together like a time code movie.
Oh, like the 2005 movie Time Code. Is that what you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just need four cameras, shoot for an hour, and it's great.
Maybe
We'll have a feature, darn it.
yeah, sure,
It
why
won't be
not?
good, but it'll be there.
Yeah, we'll figure out something. But yeah, so I guess this is just my long way of saying like I'm glad that you could be such a big part of this and help make this happen because it is enjoyable to have a success and have a success with you there.
Aw, well,
Yeah.
that's a lovely way to put it. Thank you.
Yeah, but
It is an honor to be asked to participate in this thing that means the world to you. And I am really proud of you for getting this out there and continuing the spirit of what I have known you to be as a filmmaker all these years.
Right, right.
Um, and I think it's a, a beautiful a beautiful blossoming, as it will, as it is of you as a creative spirit.
Yeah, I think it was in some ways it was inevitable. It just took me a long time to get to this point, you know. Um, I think years ago I had mentioned it and Serena said that you that is definitely a thing you're going to need to do. And this idea has been mulling my head for a while, for at least a few years back, and it's nice to see it come to fruition. So yeah, it's
Fruit's good. People like fruit.
yeah, fruition. Um yeah, so if you made it this far, I guess we'll wrap it up. But thank you, thank you, sir, and I'm glad we're gonna do it again. I hope I assumed I just assumed these things, but I assume you'll be around that weekend.
I should be. I
Yeah,
plan to be.
yeah. So it's the third weekend of July, the 16th to the 19th. Holy shit, that is only as of this recording, that is 5 months from today that we'll be starting. Um, fuck, I gotta select some films.
Yeah, I gotta hop back on the pile and start working through more of them. They've all been um just a blast so far, the ones I've been assigned. So I look forward to continuing down the line.
It has been. I'm glad people brought it again this year. I think there's gonna be some hard choices. Especially if we get the same volume that we'll have to pick and choose these. So I appreciate
An
that.
embarrassment of riches.
So I'm so embarrassed.
Good
Yeah,
problem to have.
exactly. So yeah, yeah, let's do a festival again. Let's do year two. And I will spend the next 5 months not only like continuing to make this a more even more engaging experience for people. I think like have more fun events and stuff and theme parties. I want to do theme parties this year.
Theme parties.
You didn't go
I
to any
mean,
parties. You were on the day shifts.
yeah, I know.
You didn't show up to.
I went home and slept. I assumed the theme last year was get drunk.
Yeah, that was the theme. The theme was get drunk. I'm gonna have actual themes this year. I think.
Okay,
Um, if
cool. I
not,
look forward to that.
if not, it's Jaylene's fault.
I will not go to any of them because I will go home and sleep. But I hope
Fair.
everyone has fun at the theme parties.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Our theme party is Mike showing up to this party. We're just gonna follow you wherever you go.
just no. I we could arrange to have a cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
At whatever venue you have, and you can put it in the corner while everyone has fun, and I'm at home sleeping because I'm a boring middle aged man.
Uh, yeah, thanks for the chat, sir. And yeah,
The tea
we'll
chat.
with thanks for the tea chat. We'll be in communication very soon. Well, literally after I stop recording.
Yes.
So thank you, people listening. Bye.
Likewise. Bye.